All right, good morning. It is April 9th, 2020. We are rounding out about a month of quarantine. And yeah, what's it been like? I guess Monday will be a month. About. So, for me, take a little bit to kind of get the ball rolling, but it was really important that the ball stopped rolling because it allowed me to really reassess what was important and stop just trying to chase around every thought that came out of my head, which was getting dizzying, put it that way. And then it allowed me to really focus on my routines just at home without trying to be everywhere. That was nice. Is nice, still working on it. But trying to get up before the sun rises is fun for me. Good goal. Makes me feel like I've seized the day. Carpe diem. Am I right? And then trying to figure out how to do school online has been a weird process where I was like, oh yeah, I'm equipped for this. I can do this. And then I'm like, oh, this is so hard. And then talking to kids and kind of falling into some traps, under-assigning work, over-assigning work, making it too complicated, making it too simple. There's definitely a sweet spot to getting kids to feel engaged in the experience, enough so that they feel empowered to actually do it at home. And it's not something that and it's fun for their parents. They, maybe get them involved, right? Community learning. Parents know so much most of the time, and if they don't, they learn something from the lesson too, which is double value, right? Making it meaningful so it has some connection to their life, because they're not in this separate container that says it's automatically important. You're in the science classroom, so we're learning science, so I can throw whatever science I want at you, based on the standards. But it is saying hey, you can do these experiments in your kitchen, or you can do this activity outside, and you're using science skills. So, and then the next challenge is getting everybody to interact, because when we're not experiencing school, we don't get the experience of school and being with your classmates, everything that goes along with that. That's fun and awesome, right? Being with your classmates, getting to see what they did for their work, what they're thinking. A lot of science meaning making happens when people talk to each other, right? You have to talk out your ideas and say, oh, I think it's this way because of this evidence. And someone says, oh, I saw this piece of evidence and I came to this different conclusion. Happens all the time in science, not black and white. It's not just I wear a lab coat so I have all the answers. No. And also, kids are the best scientists. I mean, if you ever watch a 2-year-old try to figure out the world, really every single thing she does falls along the scientific method. Observation, questioning. Ever noticed how many words, one of the first words that a kid learns is what and why? What? Why? Why? They just want to know why. And to do that, they have to figure out the what. And to do that, they have to make observations, and they have to ask questions, and they have to try and try and try again. They have to try one thing, fail, try one thing, fail. So they're really little tinkerers too, engineers. And they love the natural world. That's where life happens, in the tiny blades of grass and in the birds that fly in the trees. And maybe their attention span isn't long enough to really, well, no, I don't even want to say that. So, because who knows, right? You don't want to put limiting beliefs on what is possible for these kids. Yeah, so that was a science teacher tangent. Other positive things that have come out of, I don't know my screen is so. Okay, so technology, that's an issue. Hello. I'm on a run. Haha. Kind of looks like I'm in a mystical land, which I kind of am. Whoa. Okay, so other things technology has been big. You definitely Zoom's getting hacked. When everybody's using Zoom, an incredible tool to be able to conference with people. Everybody in the ed tech world has their flavor of the next big thing. And then it all kind of comes down to like, who are you doing it for? Why are you doing it? If a kid has innate interest in doing science experiments, awesome. But I found in my experience that any kid can have an interest in doing science experiments if you're interested in them doing it. And that's really where the role of the teacher is so profoundly important, and I hope we don't forget that in this age of online tech. Because no email that pops into your email box that says, this is a list of 50 science experiments you can do at home. No kid's gonna be like, oh yeah, 50 science experiments, let's go, Thursday afternoon. Mom, I'm doing them all. But if their teacher's like, hey, I would love if you try this out at home. I'm extracting peas in my kitchen. Will you I'm extracting DNA from my peas in my kitchen. Will you extract DNA from the strawberries in your fridge? And let's share what we came up with. Now we have a question, we have a mission, we're learning science together, and then we're gonna come back and share and analyze our results. That's pretty rad. Okay, so the teacher, profoundly important, in my opinion. And all teachers are different in this, right? So you have the teachers who are like, I actually normally function best when I give out a worksheet and kids do it, and I'm there to be like the guide to guide them through it. So that's a different experience than say like, so giving them the worksheet. So having like that asynchronous methods where it's like not in real time, right? And then wanting to keep a schedule. This is true for my sister's husband, my brother-in-law, I suppose, who teaches at a college. It was harder for him to get on Zoom calls and have that one-on-one or that like real time, have that real time discussion. And whereas for me, like not being able to be there with the energy of the kids is difficult because that's kind of what I feed off of, and that's where that's where the magic hits the road. Magic, whatever. It's magic. What happens in a classroom when a student starts to learn? When they get excited about it, when they make connections, it's like literally building their brains, which is cool. So the challenge, to wrap this all up, in the era of COVID-19, write the best story possible. And for me, that's trying to figure out how to get kids to get excited about science at home when you're not there with them, and how to build routines, and how to just hunker down and be just cognizant of your own bubble and what's important to you. And then just kind of trying to revamp our economic system. So a lot of people are losing jobs and it's terrible. And I just always looking at the positives, or trying to look at the positives and trying to create the silver lining. And collective consciousness around the silver lining. So believing it's possible at the individual level, I do think is really important. So the more you're like, that's not gonna happen because of this and that. I get that you're being realistic. I appreciate it because it's real, But at the same time, like, how can we move past that and recognize that, like, yeah, that bridge is broken, but can you cross the river anyway? And what's on the other side? And what are you gonna do about it? And how are you going to be the one that uses your own tools to get across the river without someone else having to build a bridge for you, where they get to be the gatekeeper and say you can go and you can't go? Because usually what that means, well, I don't want to get into it really, but there's certain people that get to cross the bridge and certain people who are told or tell themselves that, like, I'm not good enough. And that's not true, right? Everybody can take off their shoes and cross the river, which is exactly what I'm about to do. I'm at the bridge, my bridge. And my river. And some days I cross the bridge and some days I cross the river. It's like now that I said that, I feel like I have to cross the river because it's flowing. But yeah, I guess this looks kind of treacherous. So, you know what? Upstream, there's a better spot to cross the river. I think that's what I'm gonna do. Okay, this has been wonderful. Have fun problem solving. I think we're in for this COVID situation for a little bit longer. So again, reset those goals. What well, I'm very goal-oriented, or do your own thing, you know, but make it a story that you are excited to live and you feel proud about. So whatever that may be, get on and do it. I empower you, and I'm with you. And let me know if you watch this and you want to chat. That'd be fun. I'm kind of into that. I'm into co-creating conversations of meaningful action oriented and just philosophical, meaningless, meaningful, all the dichotomous things that go into our infinite existence. All right, I'm done. Love you all. Have a good day.